So, listen, okay? Normally, I see Bleacher Report tweeted something or posted a trade proposal, and first thing I do is I laugh and look the opposite way, right? That's actually a lie, actually. I usually make a video about it. Because usually it's stupid. It's usually stupid and pointless and makes no sense. But guess what? This one damn time, it's still stupid and makes no sense, but it actually is pro for us, okay? So it's good for us. Normally they say like, oh, the Bengals should trade away T. Higgins for a 5th round pick. That's the best news reporting I've ever seen. Yeah, all that crap. No, nonetheless though, it's an interesting one. So they claim that the Seattle Seahawks want to move on from Tyler Lockett. Now, Tyler Lockett, I wouldn't mind having the guy. He's a great slot receiver. He's a field stretcher. He can get open. He can make plays, and he has great hands, right? But realistically speaking, if they didn't move on from him, he is 31 years old. He's up there in age. He would probably cost a lot. And at the end of the day, we're not going to trade draft picks for a wide receiver. I'm sorry, we're not going to do it. Doesn't matter who the wide receiver is, other than Justin Jefferson. We're not going to do it, okay? We value our draft picks too high. Our draft capital is really what we care about. Unless we're talking about like a 5th or a 6th or a 7th round pick, Because those players, while we do value them, we have an extra picks. Actually, this year we don't have extra picks in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. We have two third picks. But a 6th round pick, 5th round, 7th round, whatever, right? Maybe in the future, we do a pick in the future. That wouldn't be against, I wouldn't say that's a worst trade ever. Getting a 31-year-old wide receiver is kind of a little questionable. And again, it comes down to how much he's going to cost and his price tag. We'll look at his contract in a second. But, okay, I can at least get, somewhat understand this. Well, that's exactly what Bleacher Report is suggesting. That because of Lockett's age, Cincinnati may be able to get him for a 5th round pick. So once I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, Bleacher Report now, it's still spewing nonsense. But now the nonsense is in my favor. And the nonsense now is in what I like. Because getting Tyler Lockett, he's a pretty good receiver. He's 31. He's still pretty good for a 5th round pick. Okay. So, I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe I'm not remembering Tyler Lockett. Maybe like I remember old Tyler Lockett, but like not the new version. Meaning that he has digressed. So like he gotten worse. And then I look at his stats and no. Guy doesn't miss games, catches a crazy amount of passes, crazy amount of targets, gets yards, 1,000-yard receiver every year pretty much except for last year. Almost double-digit touchdowns two of the years. If we could get him for a 5th round pick, 1,000% yes. Now, this is obviously probably Bleacher Report being stupid and saying, oh, yeah, they're trading for a 5th. Reality-wise, that's actually probably not that crazy. Can we look at some of the players recently who have been traded? And I say recently, the last couple of years, right? Wide receivers. It's hard for a receiver, especially when they get traded, to fetch anything above, I feel like, a 3rd round. Like, a 3rd round pick is like premium pick, depending on the receiver. And when you're talking about a 31-year-old receiver, I feel like that's definitely, that's definitely your pick is going down a little bit, right? I know the Tyreek Hill trade was 5 different draft picks, but that's Tyreek Hill. This is not Tyreek Hill. So then I thought, okay, well, what could be the downside, right? You give up a 5th round pick. You get him on your roster. Now you have yourself a nice slot guy that can stretch the field, can get open. He's obviously healthy. You don't have to worry about injuries. So then I thought, okay, well, what's the downside here? Well, the downside would be the opposite elephant in the room. Well, yes, it's nice to get somebody, for not much. There's always a reason why a team is trying to trade away that said player. When they're trying to move on from a player that you might think is good, and he's actually 32 years old, yeah, That number right there, that's the Bleacher Report number. See? You see what I'm saying? We came full circle, okay? We started here. Bleacher Report is an idiot company. Then we go to here. Whoa, hold up. This is actually, this trade might make sense. Then we go to the bottom. There's got to be something wrong here. Let me check his salary cap. We're back at the start. That's the Bleacher Report cycle. We start idiotic and we end idiotic. No, we're not trading a 5th round pick for a $19 million salary cap hit. No. If we paid $19 million for a 32-year-old wide receiver, I think there would be a test done on the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Duke Tobin, Katie Blackburn, and Zach Taylor would lose their NFL license and never be able to ever be part of the Bengals ever again. And oh, by the way, yeah, it gets worse. Next year, he's a $30.895 million cap hit. Listen, okay? We're not going to pay T. Higgins the money he deserves. We're going to give it to Tyler Lockett. Bro, listen, okay? The only way this actually could work, okay, is if they pay the salary. Which, what would be the point then of them cutting the guy? That's literally like the, Russell Wilson thing. If they will agree to pay half the salary and we could get him for $9 million, 1 year, $9 million, or I guess, no, even then it wouldn't be worth it. Because then it's 9 and then $15 million. No. There's no way this even works out in any way. Oh man, it's funny too, because this is like how I'm not trying to trash anyone, but like a lot of football fans, especially on Twitter, you go on Twitter, it's like a cesspool. You go on Twitter and it's like, oh, the Bengals should trade for Justin Jefferson, they should trade for Mike Evans, they give a whole list of players, right? And it's like, well, yeah, that's awesome, right? It's awesome ideas, cool, that'd be great to have Joe with those players. But you gotta look at money. You gotta look at the salary cap. You gotta look at what's logical. And at the end of the day, Tyler Lockett's a great receiver, right? And it would be awesome to have him. But for $18.95 million, that's not happening. Like, things happening, that's over here. Actually, no, wait. Things happen, that's down here. My bad. It's not happening. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.